You found the Live Local Marketing Podcast, where business owners share their knowledge about what's working in the market today. No fluff, just their experiences and stories from people who are making it happen. And if authentic, practical marketing resonates with you, be sure to visit livelocalwarmmarketing.com and learn to grow your business on warm marketing referrals. Now, on to the show. Welcome. Thanks for joining us here today. We've got Jordan Mendoza today. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing excellent. How about yourself?
All right. Doing good, man. Ready to have this. We're ready to pick your brain and get all the information out of it. That's what I'm ready to do. And today, Jordan Mendoza is sought after sales and social media coach. He's a podcast host. He's an author with a passion for helping individuals and brands elevate their presence. He's the host of the popular podcast, Blaze Your Own Trail. So if you haven't been following that, take a moment, follow that, then come back to the rest of our interview today. He shares valuable insights from top performing industry leaders, entrepreneurs, creatives, and he dives into the stories that shape their success and his experience in building authentic and high impact networks using social media as a powerful sales tool has transformed countless lives. So I'm excited to have him on and ready to go here today. Quick review of the format. He's going to have 2 minutes. We've got our topics off to the side. He's going to tell us everything. And then in the end, he'll have the outro describing his business and how you can get a hold of him for more. Here we go. Ready? My first topic is going to be talk to us about a time that you had a loss that turned out to be a win.
Oh man, there's so many of those, but
Yeah.
one of them that actually happened pretty recently. Well, I would say probably about 7 or 8 months ago. I had joined a podcast network as talent, and that network actually ended up dissolving. And I would say within the same day that it dissolved, another network reached out to be talent on that network. And so I ended up joining that network. Long story short, another network reached out and offered better terms. And I ended up joining that network. But here's the thing. That network ended up dissolving 6 months later, but the original network welcomed me back with open arms. So it's kind of funny how sometimes losses turn into wins and then back into losses, but they could end up wins again. So it's just very interesting how it all played out. Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. We're not in control of the wins or the losses. We're just in control of how we react and respond, and making sure we maintain our character and integrity during the whole process. And that is actually what solidified the original relationship. And I was able to join that original network.
So it seems like you have a pretty good idea of when to say yes and no. Right. So how do you know? How do you just feel it? Do you know when to say yes? And no?
If I said I just felt it, that would probably be true. But as a believer in Christ and a man of faith, I pray a lot. I'm not as smart as it may look I am to a lot of my clients. Like I have access to a higher power that definitely helps fill in the gaps where I have weaknesses, and so I leverage discernment, I leverage intuition, but also I've been around for a while.
I'm gonna get to the next topic, but I can't go without asking you one more thing. So that means you have like intentional reflection time. Is that kind of what you're getting
100%.
at? Okay, so how do you set that up? Do you like, hey, at noon I'm sitting down doing an hour, or how does that look for you?
For me, it has to start there. It has to be the foundation, right? Because if you're building a house and your foundation's faulty, guess what's happening in about 5 to 10 years? That house will come tumbling down. So for me, the way that I set it up is that's the first part of my day. It's intentional. And then the second goes to my wife. And then the third goes to my kids. But it's just setting the foundations in place the right way.
That's amazing. All right, cool. So we'll move on to the next one then. So from there, talk to us about some of your best habits to make you an effective entrepreneur.
Yeah, my best habits is to practice what I preach. I talk to my clients a lot about showing up. If you don't show up, if you don't spread your message, if you don't talk about your failures, if you don't show people that you're real consistently, then no one's going to know who you are. You don't want to be the best kept secret in your town. So the best thing that we can do, especially for the folks listening to this podcast, I know you interview a lot of experts, you interview a lot of folks that have aspirations, they're passionate, they really want to get themselves out there, and then you turn around and they're silent and you don't see their content. And so that's the best habit that you can create, is no matter how you're feeling internally, just make sure that you can show up, because you're not just showing up for you. You're showing up for the people that need your content. You're
Yeah.
showing up for the people that are in your old shoes, that see your new shoes and say, I want to try those shoes on. And so if you cannot show up for them, then you're actually doing the world a disservice and you're doing yourself a disservice. And I only know that because I've been that guy that
Nice. Yeah.
let the world or let circumstance get in the way of me being me. And I'll tell you right now, it did not serve me well to turtle in, because it's natural as humans. When we have circumstances that are outside of our control, it's easy for us to kind of turtle, right? Go into the
Yeah. Yeah.
internal
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
actually saying, you know what? I'm actually dealing with this. This sucks. Here's what I'm doing. Hey, what would you do in this situation, right? You can
Yeah.
actually take the negatives or the circumstances you're dealing with and actually leverage it as content, and put it out and just be open about it. And you'll actually see a lot more traction when you do it in that capacity.
So let me ask you this then. So in the beginning, you show up. When you're starting a business, you got more time. Does that
Yeah.
show up look different 3, 5 years later when you're in it, doing a lot of different things, and your time is a different situation?
Yeah, for me, then it's about how are you managing your time, or are you
Okay.
delegating? Are you leveraging people that are around you? Are you actually bringing somebody along that can replace you in those
Okay.
areas? Because you get to a point where it doesn't serve you well to do every single sales call. It doesn't
Exactly.
serve you well to do onboarding, right? So there are certain things that you have to evaluate and say, if I'm wasting time on this, is it actually costing me more and what I could
Yeah.
earn from a client relationship? So maybe I need to delegate this to somebody else.
So that moves us actually really nicely into that next question. It is about systems. So obviously you've got a lot of different things and you're obviously delegating. How did you choose how to set that system up? You can't just
Yeah.
delegate to anybody and everybody. How'd you make those decisions? A quick break before we get to that next answer, because I know that answer is going to be brilliant, which is why I chose this moment to interrupt. If you love what you're seeing and you want to run your business off of warm marketing referrals, visit our website, livelocalwarmmarketing.com. It's got valuable resources, office hours, memberships, the book, an array of resources to help you get rid of cold calls, cold leads, door knocking, and run a business you can be proud of through referrals and warm marketing. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, so I learned a long time ago that I've got some really, really great strengths, some things that I'm really good at, and I've got a lot of things that I'm terrible at. And I
That's all.
noticed that
Oh,
when I started to try to do the things that I was terrible at, I was actually losing more time, right? And so you have to value you got to be self-aware. I think that's the most
okay.
important thing.
Okay.
You have to understand where your strengths start and where they end. B, or two, you have to be willing to admit that, acknowledge that, and then be comfortable enough to bring someone else in. That was actually a mistake. It took me over 3 years to add anyone to my team, because I was like, no
Really?
one could do it like Jordan. No one could, like, he's gonna do this like I.
Yeah.
But then I was like, hey, knucklehead, like, what if you created SOPs? What if you created systems? What if you created
Yep.
processes? And once I started doing that, I realized that I was duplicating myself. And
Yep.
who better to train them than the guy that built the system, right? So again, and sometimes we got to get out of our own way. A lot of us
Yep.
have a pretty hard head at some point, where we're stubborn and we feel like we need to hold it and own it and to do it. But my advice is let it go. And because there's way more people that are way more talented in those things, that we
Yes.
need to
Yep.
let them excel, we need to let them shine. And the quicker that we can release the things that take energy away versus give us energy, the more success you're going to have faster.
Let's talk about a hire that you weren't sure about that turned out to be the right decision.
Oh man, there's been countless like VA role folks that when I was doing the task that they were doing, it was taking me double the time and I would get
Got it.
50% less results than when they started taking it over. And I was like, you're an idiot, Jordan. Like, you could have handed this off. You could have handed this off so much earlier. Like, why did you have such an attachment to this? But
Yeah.
like, we don't know what we don't know. And it sometimes it takes giving that release, giving someone that
Yeah.
ability for us to see it.
So the conversation seems to be kind of I've been kind of veering towards like scaling up, getting to the next step. So if we have somebody who's doing it, they've past that startup phase. They're ready to make that next step. What's some advice you'd give them to make that next step? A quick break before we get to that next answer, because I know that answer is going to be brilliant, which is why I chose this moment to interrupt. If you love what you're seeing and you want to run your business off of warm marketing referrals, visit our website, livelocalwarmmarketing.com. It's got valuable resources, office hours, memberships, the book, an array of resources to help you get rid of cold calls, cold leads, door knocking, and run a business you can be proud of through referrals and warm marketing. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, so I would really find what's the number one thing that's bringing your business the most revenue.
Got it.
Okay, so
Got it.
I would find that out first. Once you have that down, when things are rolling kind of like a well-oiled machine, I actually say double down on that thing. So
Okay.
if all of your leads come in, for example, let's say it's a small business, like a small coaching business, for example, and majority of their leads have always come in organically, and organic is working well. The next phase is actually investing in paid ads, because anything that works well organically, that's already the test. And the mistake that I see is I see people early on when they start investing thousands in ads,
Got
and they're
yeah.
spending on the testing versus using organic to test. Does that make sense? And
Oh, it
if
does.
organic
Yep.
has worked really well, now you can say, hey, this piece of content worked. Let's actually add some fuel to the fire, and let's double down on this because it will increase those results. And then I would say also, maybe add an additional strategy that you're not currently leveraging. So most business owners I see, they typically will have offers in their company. They might have a newsletter, they have a website, they might have an email list, but they might be missing a podcast to their business. They might be missing
Yeah.
another component in their ecosystem. So I would just evaluate what else could you add that could actually help you increase your leads and increase your revenue for that thing that you're already doing well.
What are some great magnet content that you've seen and developed over the years? What are some good tips for great magnet content?
Yeah, lead magnets. It's always having something that's quantifiable. So I created a resource that was like 6 steps to LinkedIn lead
Got it.
generation. Right.
Yeah.
So it's tangible, it's quantifiable, and then make sure obviously your deliverable delivers on that promise. That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
important thing. It should
Yeah.
deliver that
Yeah.
resource to
Yeah.
them. Now, especially we all know that the purpose obviously for building a list is so that you can communicate with that list. So
Yes.
the chances are they're going to get something, but you are going to communicate afterwards. So just make sure that that it's quantifiable, B, that it delivers on that promise that you are, and then at the end, then obviously once they've opted in, then you can communicate and send them other resources, send them podcast clips, things like that.
Some good stuff. So what are some of you have a VA, you've talked about that already a little bit, and you've handed some stuff off. What are some of the best uses you've had for AI at the time, if any?
Oh man, AI is something I've been using since probably 2012. So
Early.
I was in multifamily housing industry for 15 years, and 8 of it I was in training and development. So, Salesforce, Workday, all these really, really big learning management systems have all been leveraging AI and machine learning for a really long time. So I was using it for more internal functions, and then as I got into entrepreneurship, I started leveraging, of course, ChatGPT. I would leverage video editing tools, content writing tools, and so I look at it like this: if it can collapse the timeline of getting to your
Got it.
results
Yeah.
without you being there in a lot of cases, time is the one thing that we never get back. So
Yeah.
anytime that you can get time back, that's always a good tool to use. But also, if it can increase your conversions in some capacity, then that is also good. So, like building out, not even thinking AI, but thinking like workflows, automations, those are
Yes.
things that help you get your time back as well.
Do you have any warnings for people for AI? Do you have any things you're like, hey, kind of be careful of?
Yeah, don't use it as face value. You know, whenever any of these tools spit the thing out, they're
Yeah.
spitting out based on lots of information and data. But I would always evaluate it, make tweaks and edits to it. Especially, a lot of AI platforms go super, super emoji heavy, and you can tell that people are using AI, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
use common sense, and don't just every time you put something in, take out whatever it says as the word
Nah,
and as the
copy
truth,
and paste. Yeah.
so you got to evaluate. That's really my warning. And then my other warning is, don't let this pass you up, because it's not only just coming, it's hasn't even started
That's
yet.
right.
It's
Yeah.
like not even in its infancy. Like podcasting is just now in its infancy. AI is not even in its infancy yet.
Dang, that's some good advice. That's awesome. All right, so you've been at this for a while. You're super experienced. Talk to us this year, how you set your goals and what that looks like for you after all this
Yeah,
experience, after all this knowledge.
I have two very, very specific goals in my main business, because I've got another company in Belgium. I'm out there every 6 weeks. We're building a tech startup out there. But in my main business, I have two focuses. The first focus is I want to help 100 folks either launch, grow, or monetize their podcasts in
Oh,
2026.
that's
Very,
cool.
very specific. And I'm already on pace to hitting that target, and we're only in a handful of days into the
January.
year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one of my goals. The second goal is I had my latest book come out in July.
Let's
This
do
is
it,
it
man.
right
Push
here.
the
It's
book.
called The Life-Changing Power of Adversity: How to Overcome
Sweet.
Struggles, Unlock Your Potential, and Blaze Your Own Trail to Success. So I wrote this book for people that have gone through hard things, and it's basically created an environment where they're stuck, and they feel like they know they're meant for more, but man, how am I ever going to forgive myself or this person? How am I going to get past this situation that happened to me, this
Yeah.
circumstance, this racism, this abuse, this trauma? How am I going to do this? That's what this book is for. It's to change people's relationships with adversity, because I know from personal experience that adversity gives us strength, and
Yeah.
it enables us to see through a different lens, as long as we're willing to extract the lessons that we learn from it. And for somebody that has faced financial adversity, communication adversity, familial adversity, racial adversity, uh, been beaten by police, racially profiled, almost lost my right leg at 19. I mean, I've been through the gamut, but I can say at 44 years old, life's still great. I can still smile. I'm blessed with a wife of 20 years, 6 beautiful children, businesses on multiple continents, a top-rated podcast, and I feel like I'm just getting started. So my message really for anyone that hears this, yes, I want to share marketing tips, but I also want to share that it doesn't matter where you're from, what your ethnicity is, what your background is, what your education level is. Take it from a guy that grew up super poor, on food stamps with a disabled mom. Didn't meet my real dad till I was 12.
Ooh,
First kid was a miscarriage. I mean, you write some things down that you probably don't want to have happen to you. It may have happened to me, and I'm here
that's
to tell
crazy.
you that you can still overcome anything. Because there's things that I still haven't faced that I will be able to overcome, and there's things that you still haven't faced, and you will be able to overcome it. And so the book that I wrote, my hope is that it helps you. If I could give one call to action is, go on Amazon, type my name,
That's
Jordan
cool.
Mendoza, and you'll see that book pop up. And it's free, literally on Kindle Unlimited. I made it free if you're an unlimited
Wow.
subscriber. Other than that, it's like 20 or $25. And if you don't get at least that much value out of it, message me and I'll give you a refund. Because that's
Wow,
the
that's
goal. Is
crazy.
I want to add value to people
Yeah.
and change people's relationship with adversity, because I've seen over the last decade people get taken down from things that they shouldn't
Yeah.
have, and
Yeah.
I know that they can overcome it.
That's amazing. We'll put the link in the description too to make it easier for the audience to get a hold of that book, and I'll definitely buy a copy afterwards as well. That's awesome. So before we get to the business and have you chat about your elevator pitch and talk about the business, you're doing a lot of things, man. You've got your hands in a lot of different things, and you're traveling and you're doing stuff in family life. How do you avoid burnout? How do you stop?
I've got a secret weapon. It's called ADHD. And so it enables me to do things at a capacity and a level that a lot of people just can't keep up with. And I'm not trying to be funny. It actually is true.
Yeah.
But I've done it my whole life. I've always, and now if you were to sit me down, like when I was writing my last book, in front of a computer and have one linear focus, your boy's not getting anything done. It'll take
That's
me way
crazy.
longer. But if you give me 12 tabs open and I can jump back and forth between multiple things, like I'm there, and that's how I thrive. So for us, it's organized chaos. But I would be remiss if I didn't also shout out my amazing wife, who's like,
Yeah.
she runs the show, right? Without her, I don't get to do half the cool stuff that I get to do, right? I need her to be a support system. And also, when you have a tribe like ours, like, we expect our kids to also step up to the plate and help your younger
Nice.
siblings and get them off the bus. And if we need you to hang with them. And so we're trying to show them that, hey, everyone has to contribute. This is not a hey, mom and dad do everything around the house environment.
Yeah.
No, everybody has chores. You have responsibilities. You need to contribute. You need to treat each other well. Like, we're trying to raise civilized humans,
Yeah. Nice.
and not just let them kind of run amok and do whatever they want,
Do any of the kids have any ambition of following your footsteps and getting into like the podcast and entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so it's pretty fun. So my oldest is actually joining to help out my Belgian-based startup. So he's coming on board here pretty soon there.
Oh, that's cool.
My 14-year-old daughter, she's really into like videography, photography, and things like
Oh, that's
that. So
awesome.
she comes and travels with me to events to like film B-roll and things
Wow.
like that. And I pay her when she comes with me, and so she loves content. And then my other kids are like into sports or into music and things like that. But yeah, it's cool to have some that are interested. I also I've been breakdancing since the mid '90s, and I like still teach it on Saturdays at my house.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
literally, I've been trying with every kid to get him into it, and so far, the 5-year-old is like, he's looking like the one that will probably pick it up. So
I think I won. That's awesome. We're gonna see him in the Olympics because now this Olympic sport. We'll see him in the breakdancing Olympics here in 20 years.
well, yeah, it won't be 20. So it's not in the next one. I think Australia ruined it for the world, but
I think they
it'll
did.
probably
Yeah, they
be in
kind of
the
ruined it.
one
Yeah,
in
yeah.
2032 or something. So we'll see.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, so we're gonna have you do the outro. Let's talk about your business and your focus, and then where people can get a hold of you, and then we'll call it a day.
Sounds good.
So go right ahead.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. So, well, thanks. First of all, Billy, thanks so much for the
Yeah,
opportunity. I
yeah,
love the
it's great.
format, a lot of fun. It just reminds me of just freestyling a little bit, which is great. So, best place I would say to find me is honestly just go grab the book. My book,
Yeah,
inside the book, you'll get all the resources. You'll get links to my calendar, links to the podcast. I think that's probably the best resource. Is just go on Amazon. Billy, you'll probably put the link in the show notes.
yes, I will.
Grab a copy of the book, and then if it adds value to you, leave a review. That really helps get our message out there. My goal when I wrote this book was I actually want to give away more copies than I sell. So actually, today I've already given away one copy. I was getting my car
Nice.
fixed, and they told me to go to this restaurant where I could like have coffee, and they were closed. And but the lady opened the door, and I just said, "Hey, here's a copy of my book. Next time I'll come eat at your place." Right? You always got to be marketing for
Nice.
yourself. But again, if
Nice.
you set a
Yeah, it's
goal to
always
give away more copies than you
cool.
sell, then you got to give the copies away. You can't just hold
Yeah.
on to
Got to
them.
show up, like you said. You got to show up.
You got to show up. So yeah,
Yeah,
go grab a copy of that, and then check out the
perfect.
podcast too. If you enjoy trailblazing stories, it's byotpod.com, byotpod.com. And thanks so much, Billy, for the opportunity to
Yeah.
share.
Absolutely. I'll put that in the link as well. Like we probably could chat more about podcasts, and I'm probably gonna pick your brain once we hit the stop button as well. But we appreciate your time today, and I guess go Oregon. Like I guess like
Let's
I'm not
go
really got any
Ducks.
dogs in this fight, so
There we
sure.
go.
Like they put their time in. They deserve a
That's
win.
it. That's it. It'll be a great game.
All right, man. You have a good day.